Let's wait for this. You're live. And this is... Oh, hi everybody. Just getting things set up for Gio and I to come and have a chat. It is Monday, 12:05. Not bad today. Let me just figure out which is which. Okay, this is that, and that is that. All right. So, happy Monday, everyone. I hope you had a great weekend and that you were able to, depending on where you are located. Here in New Hampshire, we had a beautiful Saturday and we had a overcast Sunday, but Gio and I played some nose work. Listen, he's acting like he's never been fed, but he has. Anyway, hang on. We played some nose work on Sunday. Amy did a hike. And I want to talk to you today about, are you, hey Mary Lou, are you feeling like the blamed pet parent in that you blame yourself for your dog's aggressive behavior or almost aggressive behavior, whatever you want to call it, reactivity, growling, lunging, embarrassing the heck out of you, mortifying you, worrying the heck out of you, or you may be one of those folks that has a constant dialogue running in your head about where's the dog, where's the kids, is the door locked, was he crated, is he crated? Who's coming over after? Oh, so it's so and so's birthday. How can we do a birthday party with our dog who doesn't like people that he doesn't know? La 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 la. It goes on and on and on. And years ago, I think it was maybe 20 years ago, when I adopted a puppy from the shelter that I worked at, cutest little thing ever, raised him. Right, professional dog trainer, did all the things, took him to training classes. I trained him. I had 3 daughters. He was clearly exposed to children in a very appropriate way. We socialized him. We took him lots of places. That's just how we function when we have a dog. We take him lots of places. And in the end, he was aggressive. He was aggressive to us, to basically everybody but me, which is one reason it took me so long to really recognize what was happening. And it was shocking to be a professional dog trainer and have an aggressive dog. And I know that this has happened to several of my dog training friends who are professional dog trainers, or they've had a sort of a professional level of training, whether they're making their life. He's barking in the backyard. Well, it's better that he's barking in the backyard, I guess, than in the house. So I've known several dog trainers that have a level of professional training who had dogs that were wildly aggressive. And in my case, and in this other individual's case that I can think of, we both chose to euthanize our dogs. Now, this was 20 years ago for me. I think what I know now would be that medication might have helped that dog, but 20 years ago it was not as much a thing to do as it was today. And I was never sure that I'd actually be able to trust him ever again. And so I didn't necessarily blame myself because of my training and my background. I knew that I had not caused his aggression. I knew that I had done all the right things. But what it did is it it opened up my mind and my heart to all of you. And I thought, my God, if I am suffering so with this aggressive dog, and it was a level of suffering, but the level of worry and stress was unbelievable. And I thought, if I have an aggressive dog as a professional dog trainer and I've done all the right things, then what is everybody else doing? Like, what are all of you pet parents doing that you've purchased a dog, or you've gotten a dog from a friend, or you've rescued a dog, or whatever? And some of these dogs are nasty. Some of them are just nasty some of the time. Some of them, there's all levels of aggression. There is, hey, Mary from Texas. There's like, I'll use my daughter as an example. My daughter has a 1-year-old medium-sized doodle mix, Australian combination, poodle, whatever. She's about 30 pounds. She's 1. And Rachel has a almost 4-month-old baby, which does play into effect here. So, but as this dog has been getting older, some of the worrisome behaviors that I noticed early on are getting worse. For example, they used to be able to drive her around in the car, and now she has to be crated in the car with a cover on it. That's okay. That's very, very doable. We do that with Jubilee for different reasons, but if she's not crated, it's not just that she's barking out the windows, it's that she would crash the car because she will fly at the windshield. She will throw herself against the windows. She will race around the car. It is not as simple as she's sitting there barking. It's that it's a real risk. And I think the most alarming behavior that we have seen getting more and more prevalent is she is redirecting her frustration or her uncomfortable. So if I've been working on trying to desensitize her to brushing, I wear a brush that's a glove on my hand, and if it even pulls just a little bit on her ear, she's flipping back to my hand. It's covered in the glove. She is insane if the television is on, and God help you if there's a dog on the television, or if there's a commercial that she recognizes as a dog commercial, or if she hears a dog on the television, and it has started to generalize to any animal on the television, any scene where there might be an animal. It's not that just she barks at the television, it's that she races around looking for the thing behind the television, and she's out of her mind, like she's entered a new zone. And if you try to correct her, she redirects. She's done it to me, and she's done it to Rachel, making contact with her, but not no pressure at this point. So yes, like a level 0 bite, not teeth on skin, no damage. And so Rachel and I had a long conversation yesterday, and she feels so responsible. I didn't specifically ask her whether she blames herself, but I suspect that she does. I think sometimes we can't help it. And even though I am her mother and I've said, you know that you didn't cause this, you understand this is her genetics, some of it is manageable, medication might help, but you guys took her everywhere. Like, they love to travel, they love to go out for coffee, and they got her in 2019 before COVID, and they've taken her everywhere. She's very well socialized. But socialization does not negate or erase genetics, and it's not nature versus nurture. It's a combination of the two. How good was the mother dog? What kind of environment were they raised in? Was the mother dog overly anxious? Were they found out in the wild, or whatever, wherever you've gotten your dog from? So there's a lot of things that go into your dog's genetic makeup way before they come into your life, way before they move into your house. There has been experiences, there could have been trauma, there could be not nursing enough, whatever, like what's things that we will probably never know. about. There are all of these things that go into the who you are as a person and who your dog is as a dog, right? And I talked about this last week, listing all the great things about Geo. And so what happens then is when it goes south a little, or when you end up with issues, and I'm talking primarily worrisome, aggression, growling, barking, whether it's at you, your family, your friends, another dog, the resident dog, resource guarding. There's a huge genetic component to that. And when we get, I guess I would say, go down the rabbit hole of blaming, you are blaming yourself for your dog's behavior. It puts up this wall. It becomes this wall in front of you, and all you can see is blame, blame, blame. What if I had done this? If only I had done that. So-and-so said I should have done this. I read online I should have done that. And when you are stuck behind this wall of blame, you can't see through it. You can't see what the possibilities are. You are blocking any other options for you and your dog if you just stay stuck. If you stay in the mindset of I'm responsible, I'm to blame, I'm responsible, I'm to blame. And I think that I've seen it happen with people, like when they can release that there's some exercises that I do with folks. There's in our course, our 60 Days to Your Dream Dog course, there's some exercises in there. And when people are able to start releasing that guilt, that blame, that sense of responsibility for their dog's aggressive behavior, other opportunities become possible, and they're actually able to see those possibilities. So hey, you guys, if you're on, tell me where you're from. Give me a little thumbs up. There's quite a few of you on, but no one's saying anything. So let me ask you this question. You can put it in the comments if you want. If your dog has bad hips, like you've seen it on the x-ray, they're a wreck, do you blame yourself for that? Purebred, rescue, humane society, found on the side of the road, irregardless of where you acquired your dog. If you saw on an x-ray, oh my God, my dog has terrible hips, would you blame yourself? Put a yes or a no in the comments. And there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna restock my cheese for Geo on top of the camera. The question is, if your dog had bad hips, maybe they do, you saw it on an x-ray, would you blame yourself? Oh, you're dripping all over me, Geo. Would you blame yourself for your dog's bad hips? Yes or no? Mary Lou says no, good for you. Come on, people, yes or no? Jump on here, participate. Hello. Anybody else? I'm gonna guess that most of you would say no. I wouldn't blame myself for my dog's bad hips. Why not? Why don't you blame yourself for your dog's bad hips? Because we all recognize that that is genetic, that it's a trait passed down from, right, Dawn says no too. Linda says no, great. Right? Because we all recognize physical characteristics, physical ailments as genetic, as passed down from mom and dad to puppies. So why do we as dog owners, we as rescues, we as humane societies, and particularly breeders, why do you and they have such a hard time recognizing that personality traits, anxiety, fearfulness, shyness, being overly protective, any of these things that can lead to aggression, why do we not recognize the genetic component to that? I don't have an answer to that, but because we as a dog-loving society, almost, I don't know how else to call us, because we don't recognize that personality traits in our dogs are inherited, then we blame ourselves and we feel responsibility. And the whole freaking world is going to be more than happy to blame you as well. What did you do? I've had rescues say, years ago, I worked with a woman in Cambridge. They adopted this lovely puppy. He was also a parvo survivor, which is a whole other issue. Very stressed out on a walk. He was stressed out about everything in the world: cars, people, bikes, other dogs. And when she would get home, he turned bitter pretty significantly within the first week of having this dog. And when she called the rescue about it, because, well, I don't know, they said, well, what did you do? She's like, I walked him. Well, you must have done something else, because we didn't give you an aggressive dog. In a week's time, honestly, like, just think about that. Let us just think about that. In a week's time, what could a loving pet parent like all of you possibly do to cause your dog to bite you? To be aggressive, unprovoked, nothing. That's the whole point. There is nothing that would cause that within a week. So let's see, Don says there's a lot less outside support for aggressive behaviors. Yes, I agree with that. People are very judgmental. Oh my God, yes. It's lonely and makes you doubt your efforts. Oh, well done. I may use some of your words. You've said it very well. Absolutely. Talk about, maybe I should entitle this, are you the judged pet parent? But I don't think we judge ourselves. I think we blame ourselves. And I think the external world is judging us. You didn't train enough. You didn't socialize enough. You need to show them who's boss. And a woman in Colorado that I've talked to a couple times, she was told she wasn't strong enough. Like, really? You need to have big muscles in order to have a dog? I don't think so. So it is lonely, because then maybe you do or you don't want to go looking for help. This is just so, I'm sorry, but this is so gross. Ugh, every time. Ooh, every time. Plus you can't see these dripping all over my leg. Any of you guys that are struggling with any kind of aggression, whether the dog is bit or not, that's not in my book what's necessarily aggression. Growling is a warning to thinking of biting. And you guys are judged. It's very hard. It can be very difficult to find help. And I think that there are some trainers out there that are very blaming and finger pointing to the dog owner that they have done something wrong. And I just cannot, for the life of me, really think of anything anybody, any loving pet parent could do wrong that would cause some of the serious aggression that I'm seeing. It's just not really conceivable. Stop treating your dog's behavior is the common one. Oh, like if you're using treats, Dawn, to counter condition? Yeah, because people don't understand the science. Oh my God. I could go on and on for hours, but nobody wants to listen to that today for hours. Yeah, exactly. And when I work with people, they say, aren't I then reinforcing the growling or reinforcing the barking? No, not if you're counter conditioning, not if you're doing it right. So if you're catching this on the replay, hashtag replay. Okay, good. Thanks for the clarification, Dawn. Let me know. You can answer the questions still. If your dog had bad hips, if your dog has allergies, if your dog has a terrible coat, do you blame yourself for those things? My guess is that all of you would say no, because you know that they're genetic, because everybody knows that they're genetic. But behavior is much more subjective, and you get blamed. You blame yourself, and absolutely everybody in the world will blame you. And as Dawn so eloquently said, they will judge you totally. And I hear that more and more and more and all the time. Or, I get people that email me and they list out the issues. Recently was a dog that was growling and lunging at the children in the house. They didn't want to pay for services. They thought it was too expensive, which is fine. But they also said, they wanted to nip it in the bud. Well, there's things, I'm not saying there isn't anything to do. There's absolutely things you can do. But we need to first stop blaming ourselves to open those doors to see what we can do. You also need to understand a little bit about the science of how dogs learn so that you won't make any mistakes to make it worse, and you won't let anybody else handle your dog in such a way that would make it worse. But let me know if you are feeling or have felt like the blamed pet parent. Just say, yes, I felt like the blamed pet parent, so that I know what you're saying yes to in the comments, because I've asked several questions here. But let me know, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Dawn, you shared some really good things, and I appreciate that a lot, because I love hearing what you guys have to say about this stuff. All right, Gio and I are out. Try to keep this short today. Have a great week, and I will see you all next Monday. Woo-hoo. All right, so hang on, over and out. And